Okay, our first small topic is to talk about the use of would-they-you in the passive voice. Okay, first, just for fun and for practice.
For fun. Yay.
Yes?
I don't know how you
Okay, for fun and for practice, can you conjugate would-they-you in the present passive?
Yes.
I like
Okay,
dropped
so
all my pens in my last hour class. Can I go get them?
Yes.
Thank you.
Would-they or. Would-they-er-is, and what's another? Would-they-re? Would-dent-or, good. So you said would-they-or, would-they-ris, or would-they-re, would-they-tour, would-they-more, would-they-many, and would-dent-or, and that's correct. Now, for fun and for practice, how would you conjugate would-they-o in the imperfect passive?
How would you do
Bar.
that? Bar. Just would a bar.
B-A-R.
And would a bar. Would a ba tis.
Ris.
Or would ris. Would a bar a.
Mm-hmm.
And then would a ba tor. And would a ba more. Would a ba many. And would a ba entor.
Good. So would a bar, would a baris, or would a bare, would a bator, would a bamor, would a bamini, would a bantor. Now, a good study tip for y'all is while we're doing this, before the person I call on says it, and then before I repeat it, try to say it in your head and see if you're getting it right. Because, you know, if you kind of zone out and think, she didn't call on me, I don't have to worry about it, then your brain is getting relaxed, and right now we want to make your brain practice. Okay? Now, would-they-o in the future passive?
Would a bear
It's would-a-bore.
boar?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the really weird
It's the weird one.
Would a boar? Would a bearis? Or would a bear? Would a bitor?
Mm-hmm.
Would a bimor? Would a bimini? And would a bintor?
Buntor. Would a buntor. So would a bore, would a bearis, or would a bere, would a bitor, would a bimor, would a bimini, and would a buntor. Okay, so that's would-they-o in the passive. Now, let's take the present tense for instance. Would-they-or, what would that mean?
I will. Wait. I see.
Make it passive. So I'm not.
I am seeing.
I am seen. I am seen. How about would-they-tour? What does that mean?
He, she, or it is seen.
Okay. Now I'm going to throw an imperfect one at you. How about would-they-ba-more?
We were seen.
Make it passive.
Being seen.
We were being seen. And how about would-they-buntor?
We will be seen.
Almost. Would-they-buntor, not we.
Oh,
They will be seen. Okay, so, and those are all correct.
Yeah.
Now, but it turns out that there's another meaning for would-they-o in the passive voice. It can also mean to seem.
To seem?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Without making it, you can't make seem passive, so it just is. So in the passive voice, would-they-o,
do you have to have, like, a predicate nominative with that?
yes, you would. Yeah, you would. You'd have
Yeah.
a word in the nominative case coming after it. So, for instance, for example, maybe I would have Regina would-they-tour. Well, this is actually a predicate adjective, not a predicate nominative.
The queen seems nice.
Yeah, the queen seems friendly. So,
But she's not, because she's the queen. She
Well-
has to be mean.
and you can see where this comes from. It kind of means the same thing as the queen is seen friendly. That we just translated as
she's seen
seems.
as friendly.
Right, right. Have we had the word milace? We've had that, right?
And that's,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one time.
Yeah.
Soldier.
Soldiers.
Quad is Latin and tetra is Greek, right?
That's correct.
Okay, sure. I was arguing with someone about that yesterday.
Okay, milites, oops, not inimicus, no, inimici, because it's predicate, predicate adjective. Milites inimici patriae videbantur. Anyone want to give this one a try?
The homelands or the country?
No, that's not the
Would be
subject.
the
The soldiers.
The soldiers
Uh-huh.
of the land seem unfriendly. Or the soldiers seem unfriendly. to the
Oh,
lion.
yeah, I would do it that way. I would say the soldiers, except what tense is videbantur?
Work did seem.
Yeah, were seemed. The soldiers, because it's imperfect, the soldiers seemed unfriendly to our homeland.
You could use did seem,
You could, yeah, you could.
so that's, okay.
Okay, so that's, and I said it was a short topic, and that's it. It's just when you see video in the passive, you can translate it as seem as well as is seen, and you just want to choose the one that sounds best. Okay, the next thing that we're going to look at is yet another type of the ablative. So yay!
Another one?
No.
Another type of the ablative.
Are there just hundreds of types of ablative?
There are so many types of the ablative.
That's not fair.
Okay, what type of the ablative did we learn about yesterday?
Personal agent.
Personal agent. Did that use a preposition?
Yes.
Yeah.
What preposition?
Whom?
Ah or ah. Ah or ah.
I didn't learn that.
Oh, okay. Well, a quick summary for you. Ablative of personal agent.
Which I'm not gonna remember.
Yeah, you will. Ablative of personal agent.
How long on average does it take you to put a video up on YouTube after you've taken it?
Well, first I have to
Edit
transfer it to my computer, which takes however long the tape actually is. So it runs at regular time. Then I have to compress it, which takes about half as long as the tape is. And then I have to upload it, which also takes a long time. So,
A week?
yeah. I mean, yeah.
What
Okay,
if you
so
just did
ablative
it
personal
straight?
agent used.
It'd be too big, they wouldn't like it.
Yeah. It wouldn't. It
Did
wouldn't.
they give you your director's account?
Yes.
I've seen like a 30-minute video though on YouTube.
Yes.
That's,
You can have
a
it's,
director.
when you have a director's account, it can be as much time as you want, but you still are limited to a certain number of megabytes. I don't remember how big. So.
I saw a thing on YouTube that was almost 3 hours.
Yeah,
All
it should
right,
be-
let's stop talking about YouTube. Used only with the passive voice. So ablative agent used only
So we're
with the
doing
passive
this
voice.
again?
No, I'm just reviewing it for Dylan. You don't have to write this if
Yay.
you took notes yesterday. Used only with the passive voice. Uses ah or ob.
Depending on whether the next word has a consonant or a vowel.
That's right. Depending on the next word, starts with a consonant, use I. Starts with the values of. Translated as by.
Why doesn't Miss Corky have a clock?
To
Because
keep you wondering.
Well, good thing
she
I have a
doesn't like
clock.
us to she doesn't like students to be like, yo, it's time to go.
Puella ab, not ob, ah.
Cool.
Puella amatre amator. So what do you think that would mean, Dylan?
The girl, like, by love something.
Well, first do the verb.
Love. No, is loved. By, I don't know what matre means.
Mother, by her mother.
By mother.
So that's so it tells you with a passive verb, the subject is receiving the action. So if you want to find out who's doing it, you use a prepositional phrase, and that's ablative of person.
For things like that, do they do like vowel sounding stuff like with a Y? It would be
It's an H.
yeah, stuff like that. Okay.
Ablative of manner. Ablative of manner tells how you do something.
How do you remember?
Yeah, a piece of paper.
She's a genius.
I've been doing it a long time. puer cum cura ambulat. Cool.
The boy. Walks with care.
The boy walks with care.
It's like an adverb almost.
Go cold.
Yeah, it is. Except instead of, it has adverbial force, but it's going to be, you'll translate it as a prepositional phrase.
So there are regular adverbs in Latin.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so it works like the prepositional phrase, adverbial phrase, and action.
That's
Okay, now what you'll often see, and this sounded good to the Romans, so it's how they did it. If you have an adjective modifying the noun, sometimes you put the cum in the middle of the. Didn't
What
you
is
do?
the stipulate?
I guess it
That's
makes
students.
sense.
We learned
Students.
No, we didn't.
No,
We definitely didn't.
No.
Okay, well, it
you know
means
now.
students.
Alright.
Okay, so students, magno cum studio, so that goes together, laborant. So
Studio?
studio, diligence, eagerness.
Study with a lot.
The students work with much diligence.
Yeah, the students work with much diligence or with great zeal.
isn't that cool?
Okay.
That's snappy. Is it always in passive voice again?
Nope, because
Okay.
these are active.
That's a, yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
these are just prepositional.
Wait, can it be in the passive voice?
Yes.
Hold on, wait. Was it translated out as?
The students work with great diligence.
Can you hear the gears turning?
Okay, so in this first one, we use the preposition cum. Puer cum cura ambulat. The boy walks with care. That's the only preposition you're going to use with the ablative of manner. With the second one, we also use the preposition cum, discipuli magno cum studio laborant. But when you have an adjective like we had here, you can leave the cum out. Now, if you just have the one word, the noun, you have to put it in. But when you have an adjective modifying the noun, you can leave it out. So I could have.
potentially be confusing.
How many rules did these Romans have?
It's just like we have ridiculous amount of rules with English. It's
You know,
just,
we don't realize because we
yeah,
used to.
because we learned it like it. But, I mean, they don't sit there and recite the rules like we have to. They
Imagine
knew it
I mean,
because they learned it.
learn the language like when they're born.
foreign people.
I
hate
guess.
English.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
guess.
Foreign people do hate English.
Because there's so many rules.
Do you take a class English?
Miss Madison, this just popped into my head. When we're reading stories like written by Homer and
Mhm.
people like that,
Mhm.
how do they do, like when you know, we say, in English we go, Caesar said, quotations, blah, 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 blah. How do they do that?
They didn't. I mean, it was just words. They
So
didn't
it's
put
like
quotation
Caesar
marks.
said, yada, 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 yada.
Well, there's actually different grammatical instruction if you're giving a direct quote than if you are just kind of saying what someone said. So,
How does the story, is it like a narrative or is it, it'll
what's
be interesting.
what story?
Like is it anyone?
Any
There's
stories.
all different kinds, just like there are lots of different kinds in English. Okay, let's take a look at this one. And the farmers really should be more careful because we found out in Latin too that the cows were going into the city and they were like doing really. Who knows what the cows are going to be doing in the city, and they're going to be talking, and you just have to be careful.
Yeah, what's dice bond?
What?
It's called-
Dice bond, huh? Dice
Dice
bond?
bomb.
Dike bond.
I
Oh, you
dice
don't know
bond.
that one, do you?
That's
Dic-
talk, isn't it?
Yeah, dico means to speak. So agricolae parwa cura wakis dike bond. And they really should be more careful.
Somehow they got out.
The
No.
farmers-
Farmer
the
let his
farmers
animals out.
were
Let the
taught
cows out.
to-
Yeah.
Am I right?
Oh, the farmers were talking to the cows with lots of care.
Lots of care?
Or little care.
The farmers were talking to the cows. Now that's dative of indirect object. The farmers were talking to the cows with little care. So that's ablative of manner. Notice we don't have a coom here because we've got an adjective modifying the noun, so we don't have to have the coom. They weren't watching what they were saying.